Hello and welcome to another edition of Happy Yappy HD, all about pets. And we are here again with our very special guest, Freya from the Florida Veterinary League.
Hello, Martin. How are you?
I'm awesome. It's great. It's nice. We're inside.
Thank goodness, it's so hot.
And and we have all kinds of stuff we're going to talk about. But something we should mention really quick: it's still 1,000 degrees out. And if it's too hot for you, it's too hot for your pets. If you can't walk outside on the concrete and the sidewalks in your bare feet, it's too hot for your dogs to walk in their bare feet. Same thing with cars. It still amazes me that some people think that you crack a window or even leave a window down, that it's still going to be cool enough for your dog in a car. And new laws are passing all the time that give a citizen's right to smash windows or do whatever it takes to save them, which I don't know if I would wait for the law to happen to do it.
I would have a hard time waiting if I saw a dog in a car with windows closed or even cracked. It gets over 100 degrees in there. It's going to cook an egg if you left it in your car.
It is, and don't forget, even though sometimes you have your car and you're leaving it on, which I've been guilty of a couple times before I started doing these shows and heard horror stories. You leave your car in the air running, your car can conk out.
Yep.
Or you might have one of the hybrids like I used to have, which is dead silent. People don't know the engine is running and the air is on. So you run the risk of having windows smashed then too.
That is true.
Leave your pet at home. Do you see many heat exhaustion cases, foot burns?
Thankfully we don't see too many cases, but I've had many experiences where they've come in where they've had burns on their pads of their feet just from walking in the afternoons. It can be so hot on that concrete. Think of going to the beach. When you walk out on the sand, your feet burn. Same thing if you were going to run out and check the mail in the afternoon. The height of the sun in that early afternoon, mid-afternoon, 2, 3 o'clock, it's scalding.
It's crazy.
Terrible. So it'll burn your dog's feet. Be very careful. Try to walk them on the grass. Try to walk them early in the morning, in the evenings where it's cooler. And then as far as leaving them in the car, we do unfortunately see heat stroke from that. It's a really, really sad and miserable way for a dog to go. Cats are susceptible. Some people, oddly enough, will bring their cats too.
Wow.
It's very, very scary for them, and it can happen in minutes.
Yeah.
So those few minutes to go run into a store and grab a gallon of milk, that temperature rises so quickly that you could be too late.
It's just so sad. So that's my little PSA for
Perfect.
Today.
Let's move on to happier things.
It is much happier things. Tell us now. It's so confusing. Back in my day, there were a handful of dog foods.
Yes.
Now there is a gazillion. So help talk us through.
At Florida Veterinary League, our doctors really want to try to give you as many options so that we can treat your pet and find a food that your pet likes. So we carry 3 main brands: Purina Prescription Diets, Royal Canin Prescription Diets, and Hill's Prescription Diets.
Does everyone make a prescription diet now?
Not everyone. These are the 3 main companies. There are some veterinary exclusive ones out there. I believe Iams has a line and some other ones. These are the main prescription ones that you will find at a veterinary office.
Now you can't buy these anywhere else.
No, these are by prescription only.
Okay, so our
first off.
So why this? What's
Alright.
hydrolyzed?
I will tell you all about them.
I can't even pronounce it.
Hydrolyzed protein. I brought 3 different types here. There are many other varieties to treat different illnesses and issues. The 3 that we see very commonly are allergies, food sensitivities, urinary tract issues, and gastrointestinal issues, digestive issues. So, first one I have here is made by Purina. It is a prescription diet. It is a hydrolyzed soy protein diet. Sounds disgusting, I know. But the hydrolyzed process is where they take a large protein molecule, they break it apart so that it's very tiny particles, and the body does not see it as that protein, so that it does not trigger the allergic reaction. So if your dog has a food sensitivity, this one tends to work pretty well. And then we have the other 2 companies that make hydrolyzed protein foods as well.
Yeah, I wonder if they make hydrolyzed protein foods for people. I'm one of those that's
I
allergic to
don't
soy.
know.
Anything with
Most
soy
of the
in
time,
it,
they
I
just
can't
tell
eat.
you to avoid soy. The process is quite expensive, so that's probably why they haven't branched off too much. The other good thing is most of our diets have a prescription treat or an acceptable treat that goes along with it. I brought a few samples here. This is the hydrolyzed protein one. This one's for cats, but we make it for dogs, or they make it for dogs as well.
Does it make what's the difference between a cat one and a dog one?
In the treats, I'm not entirely sure. In the foods, you're going to have different protein and mineral contents.
Like I can eat that. I wasn't thinking when I picked it up. Now, a lot of times cat products used to have lower ash.
The mineral content's going to be different.
Right.
We see the majority of our kitties that are having issues are either going to be in some sort of urinary or kidney, all ties in together, but that's one of the reasons I brought the next food. This one is made by Royal Canin. It is a urinary diet. It is especially formulated through the mineral content to help prevent the two types of stones from forming, as well as dissolve struvite crystals. So if your cat has had urinary issues, great product, highly palatable, wonderful product though, and it's clinically proven.
And that's a big deal in cats.
Yes.
Especially, I mean, my Schnauzer, it's relevant
In dogs as well,
too.
and this product comes for dogs.
It seems, for some reason, it seemed to be more prevalent in cats, from what I understand. But
You know, we see it in many of our smaller breed dogs, as well as our cats. Cats typically have the issue of being obstructed because the stones, their anatomy is very small, and then the stones will
Sure.
form and cut off the ability to urinate. So this one will actually help to prevent the type of stones that can't be dissolved, which are oxalate, and to dissolve the struvite stones.
now, if your cat does have stones and you're really not thinking about it,
Sure.
we're talking surgery a lot of times.
Yes, depending on the severity, it is an emergency. If you have a cat that is not urinating, you need to bring it to your veterinarian as soon as possible, because if they become obstructed and cannot expel that waste, they can become toxic and die. Very sad and very preventable.
It is, absolutely. You know, better foods and especially special diets like this if your cats are prone to it.
Yes. Now moving on from the urinary issues to our digestive issues. This one is made by Hill's Prescription Diet. This one is called ID, and it is a low-fat formula. We see so many animals, dogs and cats, that have digestive issues. We have Thanksgiving coming up in just a few months. Many people will, sneak a little treat, a little bit of turkey, a little something
Turkey's
from the
still
table.
Worst for dogs.
Anything out of their normal diet is really not the best. You want to try to stick with their normal diet and avoid all of those extras.
Everyone's always amazed because my dogs, when they come over for dinner, my dogs go lay in the living room or somewhere. They never bathe because they've never ever had anything off the table until they see my mother come over for dinner. And then they know to
There's
hang out on
always
the
that
table.
one person.
That one person,
They
yes.
fall prey to those puppy dog eyes.
But so when a dog does have digestive issues, it may not just be from a
No.
change of diet or something like that.
No, there can be many reasons. This particular formula is used to treat those types of things, but there's an issue called pancreatitis that is triggered usually by a dietary indiscretion of fatty foods.
Yeah.
The pancreas gets inflamed, you have vomiting, you have diarrhea, it can be very severe.
Water change too if you're traveling and stuff.
Sure,
Yeah.
any changes. This food is low fat to help with that. We also have pets that have chronic issues with digestion. Maybe they're not being able to keep firm stools, they vomit here and there. We put them on this food and it usually straightens them out.
Do you ever find that some dogs get better and then they can go back to their regular food?
Sometimes yes, especially if it is just an acute instance where it's
Sure.
happened because they've gotten into some food. Stress can cause stress colitis, which can cause diarrhea or vomiting. And when that happens, the the dog gets stressed, sometimes people will take them to a groomer or a boarding facility where the
absolutely.
animal gets anxious. May not even be a horrible situation, they just get a little anxious.
It's just
It
stress.
upsets their stomachs, and
Right.
then their entire gastrointestinal stack
Just
goes
like
out
when you
of
go
whack.
somewhere new for the first time, it's a vacation and you're excited about it, you still get, a little funny in the
sick.
tummy.
Yeah.
Same thing with dogs, and so many of our pets over at Blue Ribbon come in so often, they literally bulldoze their way back, they know right where to go.
They're used to it, they're comfortable
They're
now.
comfortable. But there's some dogs that come in regularly that they still get that little stress in their tummy,
Absolutely.
and we know it ahead of time. The owners bring the proper medication for them.
And some of the things to combat this or to treat it, we utilize a lot of probiotics. We also utilize anti-stress medications if needed. There's all natural supplements out there. All kinds of things you can do in conjunction with prescription diet changes.
And when you're
Really
doing,
so much you can do.
and also when you're doing, just a little segue, when you're doing probiotics, you always have to be careful. You got to get them from a reputable place.
Yes.
Sometimes you get them off grocery store shelves or God knows where.
One of the major issues with probiotics is that not all of them truly contain live cultures, or they don't contain the ones that work for dogs. There are different bacteria found in animals. Different species of animals have different bacteria in their gut. Human probiotics don't always work well for dogs.
No.
Vice versa, of course.
Didn't you all have?
I
don't
have
think
some
we-
other treats here too
Do you
that
have did you bring the probiotic treats?
did not bring the probiotics.
See, I segued onto a
You know
different
what?
thing.
I know, but you know,
But there is a treat, probiotic
there's
treat.
the Veterinary Science Everyday Chew. There are Purina company makes a probiotic called 40 Flora that's a sprinkle powder.
Mhm.
Then there are capsules that you can break open and sprinkle on the food. Many different routes of administration. They work great, not only for those instances, but just to help build your dog's immune system. A large part of the immunity is in the gut. Helps them stay healthy.
When my monkeys weren't feeling well, they're smart. So
Yes.
they love marshmallows. We got them to like marshmallows as a treat. And we're talking like maybe every 2 weeks I'll give them one
Right.
as a treat because there's too much sugar. But so we could hide medication and stuff
that's
inside
great.
of them. So when they weren't feeling well, Dr. Kennedy over at Florida Vetley was truly saved their lives. But so we flatten open the little marshmallow, put some of the probiotic there, and I'd squish it up. You fooled them once.
You know what, those
The other one you fooled twice, but the first time, and then they got wise. They'd look at it, they'd smell it, they'd look around. If there was something in it, they'd
Some of
toss it
those
at you.
probiotics, those capsules, the powder in there is almost a little sweet. So some of them actually taste pretty good.
One sweeter, not for these guys. So what are some of the other treats
So
we've got?
last, I brought the dental treats. Dental disease is
Awesome.
a very important matter to take care of and to keep on top of.
Actually, I'm keeping those.
You better talk to management about that one. Verbac makes these CET chews. They have enzymes and chlorhexidine to help kill bacteria in the mouth as the dog chews on them.
I've seen customers with those. I never knew what they were.
Yeah, absolutely. They also come in a vegetarian formula that are called VeggieDents, and they work really
For
well.
those vegan dogs.
Food allergies.
Oh, that's right. Okay, and
Those are more prescription treats. They're made by Hills. But if you look at the bottom, it has a nice little key down here that tells you all the foods that it will go well with, all the prescription-based diets.
that's pretty cool.
Nice
That's
little
very
keys.
smart.
Makes it easy on us.
Because a lot of times you're on prescription diets
You gotta know
and you're
what
so scared to
treats.
give them anything else.
They made it very easy by labeling their bags, so all we have to do is take a quick look.
That's a great line of food too, and very smart. And these are just dental chews.
They're part of the CET line. These are the petite chews. Smaller dogs, larger dogs, all different sizes.
Cool. Okay. I need that. I need that. I don't have
All right,
that.
Martin.
I'll take that too.
You know what? I can add it all to your account. It's okay.
Thank you very much for coming in.
You are
I
so
really
welcome,
appreciate it.
Martin. No
And
problem.
this is just another edition of Happy Yappy HD. Thank you all for tuning in. And don't forget, all the proceeds from this show, from all of our sponsors, if you'd like to become a sponsor, contact me, blueribboncharities.org. that's what it's all about. We're here to help people who can't afford medical care for their pets. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.